Hey, good morning, everyone. Dave Wilson of the Ring and Hire Show. It's going to be a great show today. I have Melissa Bowman of FoxHire, and if you've never heard of FoxHire, you're going to hear about it today, right, Melissa?
Absolutely.
And we're going to go over it's all a discussion about an EOR, employee of records. So we'll be right back after this. You got to love them.
I do. I was just about to say, I love that.
You know, between everything with the EOR being virtual, that's the Fever app, Fever, whatever you want to call it. $17 for that. I've been working with the one gentleman for the last year. He's in a different country. I forget where he's at. And he knows me by now, so I send him images and we work together just like that.
That's awesome. I was looking at it. I was like, oh, golly, that's impressive.
He's intense. Bangladesh or Bangladesh. I don't know where it is. Hey, good morning, everyone. I'll tell you what, this is going to be a great show because it's with FoxHire, an employer of records. But first, I want to introduce Melissa Bauman. How you doing, Melissa?
Good. So happy to be here.
Thank you. Why don't you describe what you do, Melissa, and tell us about yourself?
Yep. So I am an account manager with FoxHire. I have been in this role since December of last year. Prior to that, I was an account executive. Been with FoxHire since February of 2020, right before the pandemic hit. So it's been a great year, a horrible year, but a great year, dealing with the pandemic, but growing in this role and being promoted has been super exciting. I live in Canton, Ohio. I am super thrilled to be on this show. I am a dedicated account manager. So I'll be excited to talk more about our services and the value that you can get from me and FoxHire as a whole.
That's what I'm talking about. And I just want everybody to know that I've utilized FoxHire. And what I like about it is I always tell, this is my favorite saying, I have everything that you have and it's all behind me and you don't see them. Mm-hmm. I have the receptionist. I have the person that's doing the payroll. I have everybody behind me. Everything's virtual. And I believe that's where we met close to that because we were talking about how things were getting busy then, or because you're virtual, that it was actually picking up.
Right.
Because people never heard of it. But let's just go over one thing. What is an EOR?
An EOR is an employer of record service that handles all of the back office duties of contract placements. We mitigate risks, free up cash flow, and we give time back to recruiters to do what they do best, and that's recruit and find opportunities and candidates. We handle all of the issues in the background, so you don't have to spend a lick of time doing timekeeping, invoicing, invoice collections, taxes, benefits, any of that. We do it all for you.
Well, that's why when you bring that up, I take my background in the staffing areas. When I was at the branch, and you've seen all the recruiters having to do all the paperwork and payrolling, and they didn't spend the time on recruiting.
Right.
So I would always be like, wow, wouldn't that be awesome? Because I still believe with a branch of 5 recruiters that we would have been better off utilizing an EOR than the regular company, because like you said, the recruiters are so busy. On a Monday would be the worst than on a Friday. And that's what I like about, FoxHire is how many, like if somebody was to call you about information, you can handle up to a couple recruiters on a company, right? Or even multiple.
We can handle multiple. I have firms that are sole proprietors, and I have firms that have 200 plus recruiters.
Oh, Jesus. So they're just calling up constantly and going. What I always say is about to educate the customer. Because if they're not familiar with an EOR, sometimes I don't know whether or not if they want to back off a little bit, like, what is that? So, I mean, how do you explain it to a customer or a recruiter? How do you explain it?
we explain it in a way that makes sense to them. So whatever their pain points are, we develop that relationship and we explain where we can provide the best value. But to explain our system, to explain what we do portal demonstrations so they can see how streamlined the system is. All they have to do is input whatever information that they have on the candidate and the client, and then they will be able to see transparently what the pricing is. So they will see what they make. They will see what the burden is in whatever particular state they're placing in. And then
Well,
they have a dedicated person that they will work with. So whenever there's questions, they will call me or whomever their sales rep is and go over any particulars that they may not have known to ask during that portal demonstration.
well, that's the best part, because when I utilized it for Barb, that was the first time I used it, and I couldn't believe it. I did nothing.
Mm-hmm.
You reached out. She did everything at STTC in Bethlehem. And what I liked about it is I didn't do anything. She emailed. I couldn't believe how on top of it just went like perfect.
Right.
Oh, you got an email already. Oh, yeah. You're going for your drug screen. Oh, okay. Where?
Yeah.
You know, and then you introduced. I didn't have to do anything with the company. They took care of it. I mean, that's your team. I always say that was my team. And that was the first time that I utilized it. And I was blown away. I was like, whoa, like I said about the drug screen, where are you going? You know, you find out all that information for the recruiter, right? I mean, everything.
Right. We get all of that information from the recruiter. We get the bill rate, the pay rate, where the location is. If it's remote, we do several remote positions now through this pandemic. You know, when the start date is, when the assignment is expected to end. You know, if there's PTO that is involved, our system tells you, okay.
Right.
Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, it's a PTO, they are PTO cities. So our system will build that into the quote tool. We have the best developers on earth, in my opinion. They are on top of everything. They continually make improvements to the system and provide even more value to recruiters. We have a dedicated sales team. We have a dedicated contract administration team. We have a dedicated HR team. We have a dedicated accounting team. So all of us working together make it as simple and as easy for you as possible. So think of it this way. Your niche is recruiting.
Right.
Our niche is back office. So we partner together. All you have to do is continue to build those relationships with clients, continue to find those qualified candidates, send them to us. We handle everything else. While you're sitting there growing your business, we're helping you do that by giving you time back and freeing up cash flow.
And that's where I told you, you know, I'm always honest with you, because you build a relationship with yourself and Colin. When I first utilized it, you're nervous. You don't understand anything. But I think I must have sent about 15, 20 emails, you know, for back and forth. But I like the customer service because you answered right back. And I'm not just saying that. I mean, it was quick. And what I liked about the the recruiters portal is that for your markup, you were able to just go on there. It was a calculator. Okay, $20 an hour, 55% markup, Pennsylvania for customer service, workers' comp. And then you could see exactly what you were going to make.
Right.
And a lot of people don't realize that it's not a whole hell of a lot, but you could get that. You got that fee of their salary. And what I liked about it is it doesn't have to be that big as a corporation, you know, 20, 25%. You can do a 10% of a 40,000 year salary, and it's really beneficial to the company.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's what we do. We will give you access to the system, you know, through the recruiter portal. You input all of the candidate and client information, and you can write out your own conversion fee language. That conversion fee is 100% yours. We don't take any portion of that.
And that's the part I liked about it. I was like, woo. So, I mean, it was all broken down. Drug screening, all the TN, everything's, you know, broken down for you. And also, before we get into everything here, is the employee has a portal.
Yes, the employee.
And can you explain that process for an employee when they utilize it?
Yep. Once the recruiter submits a candidate to us for a placement, we then start communicating with that candidate. We send over the onboarding email with instructions, a video, as well, showing them how the candidate portal works. They will access the portal. In there is where all of their onboarding paperwork is, their W-4, their direct deposit, the benefits election forms, COVID-19 information, all of that, their I-9, all of that is in there. They then have to go in and complete that information. A lot of it is review and acknowledge, and others may need to have a wet signature like the I-9, but they can input all of that information through their portal. The drug screen will be sent over to them. They can provide that to the facility, and then those results, once received, will be in their portal so they can share it with the employer if they request it. The background check is done, and that is also in the portal once that's returned to us. So it's very easy. They will access their system every day, or at least at the end of their work week, to input their time on a daily basis. They submit it, the client then approves it, and they are paid every Friday.
Well, that was, I always go back to Barb because she was my first one with FoxHire. And I remember her even calling on Monday, I forgot to put my hours in, or Tuesday, I forgot to put my timesheets in. And that's another thing that they don't realize, that they take care of their own time, and then still it's got to match, and get signed off. That's what I like also too, because the company has to sign off on your timesheets, right?
Right. The client has their own portal. So the client will be able to access their portal where they can see those submissions that were made. They can review receipts. If there's any expense reimbursements that are aligned with the assignment, they can run reports. So they can actually see, they can reject or they can accept. And if it's accepted, great. We then process payroll and create the invoices the following couple of days after that. And if it's rejected, then we'll look into it and we'll reach out to the candidate or reach out to the client to determine what the problem is so we can get it fixed. The clients receive reminder emails. The candidates receive reminder emails. Hey, don't forget to input your time. I even get them here at work. So
she's like, oh my gosh. I said, no, just call up. And I would send an email, not knowing that I really didn't even have to send an email, because you would be on that. FoxHire would be on that saying, hey, where's your time?
Yeah, that's what you're paying us to do. So
yeah, that's what I'm saying. So if you didn't utilize it, and what I wanted to go over is some of the benefits, and what I liked about it is the healthcare. So you have really gone above other companies, because what I like about it is there's 3 different plans, Cigna, and all different accounts, healthcare savings account for your tax-free. And use really, I would say the benefits are actually better than some other companies for starting out, because you can actually, when you think about it, if you're going IT, nurse, anything, you need to have good benefits.
Right.
And here you have options to choose, and it's all taken out when you're paying the service of FoxHire.
Yep. The benefits are offered to candidates who work 30 plus hours or more each week. They're eligible for benefits election after 60 days on assignment. There are 3 different plans that they can choose from, and Cigna is the provider. So anywhere across the country, the candidate can elect the insurance that they so desire. We have vision plans, dental plans, the HSA, and we even offer a 401k. So the benefits, the cost doesn't affect the recruiter at all. We actually provide it as the employer for your candidates.
That's what I'm talking about. And when I saw that, it's top notch, because that can sell. If you're going to temporary to direct hire in, say, 60 days or a 30-day contract, some people have families, and it can start that day, right? Same thing, right? Or does it start?
The insurance starts 60 days after
60 days after. So if somebody's on there for 6 months assignment, because like you said, some of them are contract. And the biggest thing that I couldn't believe is in all 50 states.
All 50 states and in Puerto Rico.
That's what I'm saying. So for the recruiters out there right now, that means if you're in Pennsylvania right now, you can put people on assignment in California, in Nevada, Utah, and you take care of it all. Because what you do is, because everybody's workers' comp code, which I learned, that is different.
Right.
Like New York City, whoa. Yeah. I couldn't believe the cost versus other states. And can you
Right.
explain that in all the states?
Yep, all of the states, there are different codes per industry. So I believe Washington is like a 7 something number for an
Right.
8810, which is for professional placement.
Yeah, that's it.
Pennsylvania, I think, is what, an 889 or something. So the codes will change and the system will change those for you. So if you're in Pennsylvania, but you're looking to place in Washington, if you type in an 8810, the system's automatically going to change it for you. That's how smart the system is. The COI burden is written into the burden amount within the portal. So
Right.
New York is one of the most expensive places to work in and live in. Same for California. So what you will see as maybe a $20.56 burden in New York
Right.
may only be a $9 or $10 burden in Ohio, let's say. So the system is intelligent enough to show you right up front. So if you've got a client who says, hey, I don't care where the candidate lives, you have your option to plug in different states with those numbers and determine what you will make versus what the burden is and figure out which state you should focus on.
And then you get that weekly paycheck.
Yep.
I like that part. That's what a lot of people don't realize too, is the recruiter gets paid weekly. You know, and that's another thing. So after everything's all completed, you get your weekly pay, and then also your conversion fee. That's yours. That's what's great about it too, is because you're going to make that conversion fee.
Right.
So you're successful. You put FoxHire is taking care of all that. Now you get back and you get the fee, which is a great for a recruiter. I mean, let's face it, especially if you're on your own or have 2 or 3 people.
Absolutely.
Some of the other things I like is the payroll funding and weekly payroll processing. Is people don't realize with payroll funding, you can't just, it's so expensive. If I was to go out and do that myself, I couldn't afford it as a single recruiter. You couldn't.
Right.
But you have all the resources and you provide everything for that, for payroll.
We fund the payroll for you. So you will see in the system exactly what they're going to be making based upon what you input into the quote tool.
Right.
We fund that for you.
Right.
And then as long as the clients are approving that time, they're paid on a weekly basis. We then are invoicing the clients for those hours that are worked. Right. Once we get paid, then you as the recruiter will get your share paid by us to you based upon what those numbers are that you had submitted the candidate over for.
And that's the 1099 for a contractor. That you would send over at the end of the year.
Correct.
Yep.
Like for the recruiter, they would get a 1099.
And another thing that I couldn't get over was, listen, invoicing is tough as it is.
Yeah.
That's a hard call all the time, to call the client and say, where's the billing? When are you going to pay? Because if you have 30 days or 60 or 90 days and they're not paying, you're doing a background check on the company also as a credit check.
We do a soft credit check. Yes.
Soft credit check. So, but what I liked about it is, listen, if they're late, didn't have to worry about it.
Right.
You take care of all the aging and, and you provide reports also, right?
Correct. There are several reports in the portal.
That's what I figured there. And direct deposit, or can they still get checks, or is that just all?
They can still get checks. It's something that we don't like to do. The mail service is slower than normal, and we understand that, but that does cause delay, and we know that people need to get paid as soon as possible. So direct deposit is preferred. We do use a system that is very, very, very secure. I think it's the securest out there, so there's nothing to worry about that. Right. But direct deposits are then made on Fridays.
On that. And then I asked you this before. I saw employee terminations. I mean, that's a hard thing. Listen, a lot of people, if you enjoy it, something's wrong with you, I always say.
Right.
But you're just as nervous as the candidate, that you have to let go, and that's a hard thing. And sometimes you said that you would take care of it if need be.
If need be, yes. So if the client needs to term somebody, if they're not comfortable with doing that, they may reach out to the recruiter. If the recruiter is not comfortable doing that, or if they're out on vacation or whatever the case is, then we as FoxHire, as the employer of record, are able to reach out to the candidate and term them if the other two parties aren't able to or aren't comfortable with doing it.
That is awesome. Oh, Tuvia from Miami, Florida. That's where Tuvia lives, in
Hey,
Miami.
Tuvia.
Yeah. I mean, he always says cha-ching because he offers a job board, right?
Yeah.
For free. And he gives it that, and then he only charges clients like with this What's Up app. He charges like $39, $40 per job just to post it from Miami to New York.
Yeah.
And that's how he makes his income. And we always say cha-ching because he says when he's walking the dog, cha-ching. When he comes back to the house, cha-ching, his phone goes off because that's his niche.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's providing a free service besides just a couple of dollars to post a job.
Yeah,
That's
he's great at it. He's a great
guy.
guy.
And I always say to him, do better to do that. What else I wanted to talk about? Well, first, let me ask you, how does COVID, we're not going backwards. I always don't like to talk about it because everybody says, well, there's always excuses, COVID. You need to stop saying that because this is the new norm. This is it.
Right.
And you said that you've seen an increase, and I can only imagine with everything the way it's going.
Yeah, I can be quite honest with you. We have been busier than ever. I personally have been busy with different recruiters and different things that we're working on, but the whole entire team busier than ever. We've got clients reaching out to us all day, every day. We've got this need, we've got that need, we've got this need. So we're seeing an uptick in the need for contract placements. We're seeing an uptick in the need for direct hire placements.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah,
it makes sense.
It's huge. I mean, we've been nonstop.
And you're still at home, right?
Still at home.
Still home. That's one good thing.
Yeah.
And another part that I wanted to tell people is it's free. Mm-hmm. What I like about it is if you don't utilize the FoxHire this week or next week, you're not paying a monthly fee. You're only paying for it when you utilize it.
Correct. You can use this as often or as little as you like. And I don't care if you have, let's say, 10 placements this month, and I don't speak to you again until October. Guess what? I'm still here. In between that time, you call me. We can sit and chat. We can talk about opportunities. We can talk about client obstacles that you're facing. We can talk about your candidates. I'm not going anywhere. I'm here.
You're not going.
Right.
And another thing I liked, there's a couple more things is the marketing. I had called a couple times, and I couldn't believe that you'll provide recruiters ideas, marketing, anything to come out and educate the recruiter.
Absolutely. We have webinars on a maybe quarterly basis. So Colin's really good at putting some great topics together that are valuable to recruiters. We have different documents and different articles. If you've noticed our blogs, there's any and all subjects in there that are helpful. So I'll talk to a random recruiter or a recruiter that I haven't spoken with in a while or someone new, and I'll learn what their issues are, and I'll say, hey, I got the perfect article, and I'll send it right over to them. There's marketing documents in the portal. It's dual branded, so you can input your own logo. Send that marketing document out to your client. We are the only EOR that has been successfully implemented with Bullhorn. So, clients who are in Bullhorn don't ever have to leave that platform. They just click our tab and they can submit everything to us, but they still have access to the marketing docs if they need it within their own recruiter portal. Mm-hmm.
And that's the biggest thing I like also is the contracts. Mm-hmm. You'll even provide like template. You even help with that, FoxHire.
Correct.
They take care of it. They send it off to the client, and I believe they probably naturally they sign off, but you provide that service also.
We do provide that service. There's actually a preliminary agreement tool within the client portal or recruiter portal. So you can get in there, and all of the fields that are in there are optional. You select which ones you want to outline in the addendum. You can create it. You can outline your conversion fee language. It will be emailed to you directly from the system within a matter of minutes. You can then forward that over to your client to review prior to placements being made. If they sign it, great. If they don't, then when you make that submission to us, that creation will be made of that contract with the client or the candidate specifics outlined in that addendum, and we'll forward that over. If you don't utilize it, it's okay. We'll create the contract once the submissions are made.
And that's what I like. Got two more things here. Safety. Listen, God, that's one of the most important things, safety. Nobody wants injuries to happen. Nobody. Right. You want to go to work and come home the same way. And I believe in that. No matter where you're working, injuries, but you also handle the workers' comp.
We do handle the workers' comp. All candidates will fall under our workers' comp coverage. We do have a multitude of codes that we have opened our appetite up for, and that the carrier has agreed to allow us to place in, which is great because our competitors, some can't provide that type of coverage. Right. So, it opens us up for even more opportunities to help recruiters succeed. We also actually provide work site evals for manufacturing facilities. The clients, my clients, which would be the recruiters, will then fill those forms out or send it to their client to fill out, and we get it back, and we're good as long as everything matches what we need it to match. But yes, everyone falls under our COI.
I say, and when you send it, because when you do your safety tour, that's what you're supposed to look at. Correct. Just in case, you look at it, you do your tour, then you can even send it off to you so you know that you've done a tour of safety. All right, one more question. What I like about what you said about, building a relationship with yourself and things, is the inbox of your emails. I know that was one of your subjects, how that really lowers the amount. If you want to explain that part.
Yes. So I perform in maybe you might want to call it an old school kind of way. Right. Technology and vendors and everybody always email, and that's fine. It's a great tool, but building those relationships, I think outside the box. I find something to grab people's attention, and I truly, honestly build relationships with my recruiters, whether you place with me or not. I am that type of person that exemplifying my service level to you. Right. Not only as a professional, but as a human being. I provide care and care and compassion, and provide the type of humanistic type of relationship resources, personality wise, that help generate trustworthy long-term relationships. Like I had mentioned before, I had recruiters reach out to me from last year. Hey, I remember our conversation. Yeah. Hey, how you doing? I remember the last conversation. It might be someone that I know their dog's name. I might know their kids' names. I might ask how the kids are doing in school, whatever the case is. Those are the relationships I build. And you're not going to find that with many vendors because it's in and out, business. It's just I want to get to know you as a person.
And Tuvia, we always talk, and this is exactly, customer service is probably about the most important. And to build the relationships, and we talk about that, is sometimes some of the companies and people look around that. They don't realize to build the relationship and you're going to be successful, because if they've known you're doing everything for them, they understand. They're like, they trust you. You got to leave, like, if I was with you, I got to trust you to be like, wow, I don't have to worry about nothing. Right. And that's what a lot of people are really concentrating on this year, as much as I always say, I wish I could reverse sometimes. And I would have spent more time with customer service. You know?
And it's hard, because a lot of people are rushed to get to the next project or get on the next call or whatever. And I get that, you're driving business. However, if you are having a tough day and you can't figure something out, hi, call
Right.
me. I'm here. Let me help you. And that's the thing. If you can have an exhilarating conversation with someone that truly cares not only about your
Right.
business, your success, but also you as a person, that can help alleviate stressors and headaches, then that to me is a breath of fresh air. And I am one that truly cares about your success and your well-being. So that's just how I am. And I find that some people in this industry, in my industry, as far as
Right.
are more business oriented. They're just sending spreadsheets or they're taking 4 days to call back.
Right.
That's not how I operate.
That's not how, and that's a great way to work and have the way you feel. And
Right.
like I said, that takes a lot. All right. Wow. We did a 30-minute show.
That's
all right.
quick.
So if you had to do your 30-second elevator speech and what you do again, everybody, of FoxHire, take it out.
All right. If you are spending time not only recruiting, but chasing invoices, spending time on writing checks, worrying about benefits, how are you going to make the next paycheck for your employees? Whatever the case is, if it's back office related, get that weight off your shoulders. Call me. We are an employer of record service. I can help mitigate those risks, free up the cash flow, and give you a good night's sleep.
All right. And then I did put your email. Is there a number also that they can call you? I'm going to put on the screen.
Sure.
We'll type it in there under the comments. We'll put that in there and also put it on the LinkedIn feed there for what it is that they can reach out to you with any questions.
Absolutely. Yep. They can contact. Go ahead.
No, you.
They can contact me at 888-534-9417. And I am at extension 503.
Hey, call her 24 hours a day.
I'll answer. I don't really do
everybody start calling her at 1 a.m., 2 p.m. and again, Melissa, I want to thank you so much. This is our third time I think we've talked on the show.
Yes.
Again, it's about building relationships and be able to reach out to you on anything. I've even reached out to you with questions still today, and you still answer them just like Colin does. I always say, hey, Colin, I was always call him and you would always come back. So on that note, everybody, I want to thank Melissa for coming on the show, and I'm still waiting for that T-shirt. One day.
Got to talk to Diane about that.
Yeah, one day I'm going to get that T-shirt. But everybody, thanks, and I'll be back tomorrow. And have a great holiday weekend.
Yes, happy Memorial Day, everyone.
Yes, and people are, Memorial Day is remembering veterans and what they've done. The American flag, America, and anybody needs anybody kind of help being a veteran. They're also great candidates.
Absolutely they are.
You can tell I love the military. I think I love my father at 17, he took each of us boys, at 17, 2 months before graduation, Army, Navy, Air Force, and Marines. He said, get out. He was a farmer in the paper industry. Get out. He waited in that parking lot until you were signed up.
Did he really?
Yeah, I guess I was the Army, and he's like, get out. I was like, Dad. And I went in. He sat out there. You sign up, and they couldn't afford college back then.
Yeah,
I get it. And he said, "You boys are troublemakers. You're all going into the military." So, Army, Navy, Air Force, and Marines.
Wow.
All of it. So he was a good man.
Thank you all for your service.
All right, thanks everybody. Enjoy your holiday, and I always like to take it out with this.